Hello and welcome to Divorce Support Anonymous, Walking Through the Holidays. My name is Kathey Batey, and I will be your host for the next 5 videos as we give you tools and techniques and helps to not only tolerate the holidays, but to celebrate them and to appreciate them for all that they are worth. I know many of you are considering this season to be one of dread because it's the first one after your divorce. I want you to know that there are ways in which you can manage through this season and make it one that you can enjoy and appreciate. I know I went through my own divorce over 20 years ago, and I remember that first holiday season. It was not easy. I wish I had then what I'm going to provide for you now. The key to getting through the holidays, appreciating the holidays, is to have a plan and to have structure to manage through it. So we're going to have 5 videos. One is how to prepare for Thanksgiving. The second is how to experience Thanksgiving. The third will be how to prepare and plan for Christmas. The fourth will be celebrating Christmas. And the fifth, my favorite, is going to be planning and experiencing the new year. It's coming, it's right around the bend. So we want to be prepared. So one of the main focuses that we're going to do through these next 5 videos is we're going to have a plan and we're going to have structure. Now, they're not going to be strict and confining. They are simply going to be structure to guide you through these holidays so that you're not floundering out there and not wondering what you should be doing with yourself. By having an intentional plan and mindset, you're going to get through the holidays and you're going to enjoy the holidays. I know there are times when there will be sadness. You'll allow for that. In fact, you will plan on it. You will plan on being sabotaged by grief periodically throughout these holidays. That's going to happen. But if you know that it's coming and you prepare yourself for it, so that when it comes, you're going to allow this grief to wash over you and through you and away from you. Wash through you and away from you. So if you know that, it will help you not to stumble upon it or get stuck in the grief. Again, plan on it. It's going to happen. Give yourself that grace and that mercy to get through that time. Allow yourself time out. Excuse yourself from all the activities, perhaps, whatever you need to do. But be sure that you return back to life and celebrating the holidays. It is too special of a time. I think you'll find it's one of the most precious times that you will experience in a holiday. Because your heart is so raw, it's also so able to accept the goodness and the love of God that He reaches out to give to you at this time. So be prepared. Be prepared for blessings. Be prepared for unexpected surprises of the Spirit. And be prepared to go through the holidays. All right? So those 5 holidays, or those 5 videos that I just mentioned, we're going to get started right now. And right now, we're going to begin by preparing for Thanksgiving. So many of you have memories in the past. We all do as kids, right? We remember some really fun things of Thanksgiving. I think, for me, one of the most cherishing times is when I look back and remember my mom, who's no longer with me, clanging pans in the kitchen early in the morning. And I remember how hard she worked at making those pies and stuffing that turkey and preparing it. And I can see her now in the kitchen. So right now, as you go through Thanksgiving, take a moment to remember the Thanksgivings of your youth, the good ones. Don't remember the bad ones. Remember the good ones. And take note of what those beautiful memories were. In fact, as you're preparing for your Thanksgiving, you might consider writing a note to your mom and dad, if you still have them, of those fond Thanksgiving memories that you had. What a blessing that would be to them. I know I'm a mom, and that would mean the world to me if my children wrote out some of those special memories and sent them to me. So I'd encourage you to do that for your parents, and helpful for yourself as well as you prepare for Thanksgiving. Another reason why we're doing that is because we want to identify what's important to me about Thanksgiving. What really means so much to me about that holiday? Maybe it is the food. Maybe it is traditions. Maybe it's the football game and the family. Or maybe it's the kids dressing up as pilgrims. Whatever it might be. What are those special things that make it a good Thanksgiving for you? Because what we want to do is we want to make it clear in our mind of what's really important to us so that we're not using all of our energy on all the things that really don't matter. Maybe you don't like pumpkin pie after all, and you made it simply out of tradition and no one really ate it. Kind of like the family fruitcake, right? Everyone makes it, nobody eats it. So this is a time not only to decide what is the ideal Thanksgiving for you, but what is not important to you. And those things, right now, you can give yourself permission to let them go. Now, if they're important to the kids, it's another thing. And you could work that out and have conversations with them. But for you to identify what really means Thanksgiving to me, it is those traditions, whatever they might be, that are special to you. So once you've established those, then you can decide, okay, now how do I revise this? How do I revise the football game when all of my in-laws came over and watched football? Well, maybe there's some friends you can invite over for football. Or maybe you go somewhere else and watch the football game. Again, first we have to know what's important to us, and then we can work on revising it and making it under the control of what we have control of, right? We can't control the in-laws now. We can't control a lot of things in our life. So we need to focus on what's important to us and what can we control. And consider what's important to the children and what can you control for the children. I wish you could bring their other parent back and have that beautiful family setting, but that's not within your control. So it's important to know that so you don't waste time and energy on it. We're going to focus on what can I control and what's important to me. And then we're going to write them down. We're not just going to simply think about them for a few moments in our head. We're going to write them down because this is going to help us plan and prepare for the holiday. So hopefully you have some pen and paper nearby, a notebook, a journal, where you can begin writing out the plans that you have. So start it now. Find that journal. And as you're going to, you could be preparing a gratitude journal. This may be something that is therapeutic for you or something for the children. I know one idea that I really love is if you find that you're going to be alone or have a lot of extra time preparing for Thanksgiving, that you sit down and you write a letter to your children individually and telling them what is so special about them that you are thankful for. This is a way that you can contribute and bless their lives at a very difficult time for them. So use the time, get the stationery, the special stationery, or just a plain piece of paper. Write out what's special to them. Write out what you are thankful for them. So if you don't have time when you're preparing, it's something you can consider when you're experiencing your Thanksgiving. Okay, so let's talk about what's important to you and giving yourself, I mentioned how important it is that you give yourself time to mourn if you need to, and excuse yourself. Allow that to be there because it's going to come, and I don't want it to surprise you. And when it does come, you can say, yep, I knew this was coming. I'm going to allow it. I'm not going to squelch it. I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to allow it to pass through me because this grief helps us heal. We need this grief. It's healthy. It's a way that our bodies and our minds and our spirit can begin to heal. So let that wash over you. when you're making the plans, think about how this is going to affect the children. What are the plans? What are the arrangements that you have made with your former spouse about this holiday? Is it your holiday? Is it his holiday? Is your Thanksgiving going to be the day after Thanksgiving? If so, then you can prepare a very special day for the day after Thanksgiving. I know it's Thursday in November, but it doesn't have to be. You can be creative. You can make your own traditions. Now's the time you can bring in the old of what's important, but also begin some new traditions. And realizing that this is a time to be grateful, to still our minds and our hearts, to let go of all of the things that we don't have and look at the things that we have, accepting those and thanking God for them. Because when we are grateful, we make the world a much bigger place. And it's a more lovely place for you to be, a more lovely space for you to be. So be grateful. Realize this Thanksgiving is a time for you to really understand gratitude in a different light, in a different way than you've ever understood it before. I know it's going to be different. I know there will be sad times, but it doesn't have to be all sad. There can be some beautiful memories created today as you prepare for Thanksgiving. And next year, you will have established some new traditions. It won't be your first Thanksgiving after divorce. In fact, the good news is this is the last time you have to have your first time Thanksgiving after divorce, if that makes sense. So it's all about perspective, isn't it? Yeah, what you don't have, but yeah, what you do have. And for some of us, it's just get me through the day. Just get me through the day. But have plans for the aftermath, because sometimes that can be even more tricky than the actual day. So let me summarize. Have a plan. Doesn't have to be a rigid plan. You don't even have to stick to the plan, but you have to have a plan, because this plan is going to help you move through every one of the holidays. We're starting with Thanksgiving. We'll talk about Christmas and New Year's coming up. Have a plan. Write out what is important to you. Realize what's not important to you. That if you never saw another pumpkin pie again, it would never hurt your feelings. Or if you never stuffed a turkey again, it would never hurt your feelings. Keeping in mind the sensitivities of your children. But this holiday can be special and new and unique, and it can be a good one. It's not one to just tolerate and muddle through. It's one to embrace and say, God, I know this is different. I know this hurts so deeply, but you have not forgotten me. God never divorces you. He never divorces you. When you are his child, he keeps you. He maintains you. He loves you. He created you. I'll never leave you or forsake you, he says. So look at what there is to be thankful for. And if you're not a church or spiritual person, explore that. Find your scriptures. Start in the book of John. Figure out, who is this Jesus anyway that so many people are thankful for? What does he have for me in this time of Thanksgiving when I feel such incredibly deep need? I promise you that if you will seek him, you will find him. He will make himself relevant. He will make himself known through this Thanksgiving season. What a beautiful time it can be. Different, but beautiful. So plan your Thanksgiving. Get busy. Time's passing. Calendars whipping through all too quickly. Before you know it, we'll be going on to Christmas. But first, our next video, we're going to talk about actually experiencing Thanksgiving, looking back at those plans and making them a reality. Until then, we'll see you next video. and catch up with you then with more tips and tools. This is Kathey Batey with Divorce Support Anonymous. Connect with me there, and you can see all the resources that are available to you to get through the holidays.